On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in the history of our country. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion of our country ends.
Well, looks like Miami has entered the find out phase. So it's being reported, and I read an article in the Tallahassee Democrat, that Miami-Dade County is going to be ground zero for the Orange Man's deportation program.
But at the end of that, you get order removed, you're going home. And if you choose while you're here to give birth to an illegal, to a U.S. citizen child, well, guess what? When you get removed, you can leave the child here, or you can take him with you.
Miami, once a safe haven for most Latino immigrants, is now ground zero for Trump's first mass deportation. What's ironic, some of those facing deportation are the same MAGA voters that helped put him back in office. They thought they were part of the American dream, but now they are waking up to a nightmare. On today's episode, we are looking into how loyalty to Trump backfired on many Latino immigrants in Miami. What does this mean for the future of immigration in the United States of America? So guys, I want us to watch these videos that I've gathered for you, and I would love to know what your thoughts are on the comment section. If you're a Latino for Trump watching this video, I'd love you to tell me what moved you to voting red even after knowing that there's gonna be a mass deportation come 2025 and you might be in the list of missing or being separated with your family members. This includes your mother, your kids, your relatives. And also, I saw most Latinos saying we actually voted for Trump because we want a great nation. I mean, in as much as you try so hard to fit in, we all know that you'll never belong. It's just the time to accept the reality of how things are. So this is a reality check for many Latinos for Trump. Let's watch these videos together. Give this video a like and we'll come back to it.
And bad things are going to happen, and you're seeing it happen all the time. That's why, to keep our families safe, the Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country. Even larger than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower from many years ago. You know, he was a moderate, but he believed very strongly in borders. He had the largest deportation operation we've ever had.
Well, looks like Miami has entered the find out phase. So it's being reported, and I read an article in the Tallahassee Democrat, that Miami-Dade County is going to be ground zero for the Orange Man's deportation program. Now, if you didn't know, Miami-Dade County has a 70% Hispanic population. This fact helped the Orange Man win the county by 11 percentage points. It's like the first time a Republican has won Miami-Dade County since 1988. Now, it makes sense for this program to start in Miami-Dade County because, honestly, Miami-Dade probably has the most deportation cases that are open in the whole country. And truth be told, Miami has a large concentration of immigrants. That's just a fact. Immigrants that are documented and undocumented. And chances are, if you live in Miami, you probably know someone who's undocumented. It's just unavoidable. But just to be clear, this whole program is not just going to target people that are undocumented. It also is going to target people that are on DACA. It's going to target people with temporary protected status. It's going to target people seeking asylum. And keep in mind, those people aren't illegal, but for the simple fact that those programs that they're trying to use will be taken away or expired. And with those programs being taken away or expired, now you are technically undocumented. Now, it's estimated that there are approximately 1.1 million people who are living in the state of Florida undocumented. That's about 5% of the population of the entire state. And so you already have economists talking about how this is going to negatively impact the economy of the state of Florida. And if you remember, a year or two ago, the governor here implemented something on a smaller scale with a law that he implemented that caused a lot of the immigrant community to leave the state, which caused a shortage of labor, and we have more jobs available than actual people to work those jobs here. And when this program is implemented, that's only going to exacerbate the situation. And it also mentions how in this article that there were certain exceptions as far as like when you could like do quote unquote raids, as far as like schools were protected, hospitals, places of worship, etc. When this program is implemented, all those exceptions for safe spaces are going to be eliminated. So meaning your child could be, you know, in the middle of a math lesson and all of a sudden you got ICE at the elementary school doors coming to take them away. So, and don't think this is just going to affect a certain group of immigrants. It's going to affect everyone, whether you are Haitian, whether you're Venezuelan, whether you're Nicaraguan, whether you're Cuban, it doesn't matter. Like if you're here undocumented or you're here trying to go through the proper channels and you haven't been able to achieve a certain status yet, it's going to affect you. And it's going to have a greater impact on the economy because, again, you're eliminating a large percentage of the workforce. And like I said, we're at a point now where we have more jobs than people to work them. And if you think that a certain group of people are going to get out here and work these jobs that these immigrants are working, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you. Like I say, man, it is what it is. It's what it's what people voted for. It's what people decided that they wanted. So see how it all plays out.
I'm here in Miami looking for no, I'm not looking for nobody. I'm married, but I just wanted to come out here since I am in Miami visiting. Hopefully it reached to all the Latinos that voted for Trump, especially the Cubans, Venezuelan, any Latinos or immigrants for that matter that voted for Trump. Just letting them know if they saw that Trump will be concentrating mostly in Miami area when he starts his deportation plan. I mean, is the finding out stage for you guys? I feel sorry. I do feel sorry for the people because undocumented people could not vote, so they obviously did not make this decision. But however, I'm pretty sure your family members, your friends did for you. And unfortunately, it's the finding out stage. So as soon as his deportation process starts, Miami will be the focus city. As you know, there's a lot of immigrants here, either documented or undocumented. Anybody under DACA program, TPS program, or any asylum or refugee program will be affected most likely. So just wanted to know if y'all, knew this, or if not, just try to, look for and see what and how you can be prepared for this process.
Folks, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. It's something I've been talking about for the past month, and ultimately it has come into full confirmation. The Trump transition team putting out to the 3 states their plan of action on deportation in 3 states. And they're utilizing these 3 states as a staple point for the other 47 states. So with that, as it stands, the Trump transition team has notified Colorado, Illinois, and Florida of their mass deportation plan. In Denver and in Colorado, our governor and mayor has pushed back against it. In Illinois, mayor and governor have pushed back against it. All 4 joining a coalition in favor of the states, rather this federal government action. And now Miami has been listed as the staple city, and it will be the first city to experience mass deportations. We need to talk about.
So the deportations start in Miami, huh? Look at this report right here. 1.1 million people are slated to be deported from Miami-Dade County. Oh, Miami-Dade. You thought that if you voted for the man, he would let you off the hook. Oh, yeah, you figured voting for President Joe Biden by 7 points in 2020, thought that was something. You voted for Hillary Clinton by 30 points in 2016. So you figured, you know what? Let's go with the Trump guy by 11 points this time. And maybe, just maybe, he won't look at us as being the others. But here you have it. Now your community is ground zero to be disrupted. Absolutely the first stop that they're coming for is Miami-Dade. They are targeting 1.1 million people. And they're coming now to disrupt Little Cuba, Little Havana, all them little communities down there. Guess what? They're about to come and disrupt you because you thought if you voted for Trump, that somehow that would put you in his good graces. But according to this report, he will show you. I don't know why people vote against their own interests. I don't know why you would vote for something that you knew would hurt your community. So now the stores in your neighborhood are going to be disrupted. Yeah, the jobs in your neighborhood are going to be disruptive. And let me tell you, if they move 1.1 million people from Miami-Dade County, I assure you that is going to cause a major disruption in that community. But hey, you did this to yourself. A whole bunch of you voted for Donald Trump, and he rewards you by coming to your neighborhood with the disruption. Good job, Miami-Dade Latinos. Good job. Anyhow, this is Anthony, the Ant Report, on my way to 1,000 followers. Come on and help me get there.
My fear is that I'll get deported to a country that I don't know.
Camila Ruilova Bustamante. She came across the border as a 7-month-old baby with her mother and grandmother. 23 years later, she's still not been able to get the paperwork she needs to be legal.
Threat of deportation is imminent.
How frightened are you? What's your fear?
Having been here since I was 7 months old, my biggest fear, I think, would be that my family is torn apart.
We tell her story to voters, Trump voters, just an hour outside of DC to see if there was any empathy for Camilla. And there was some, but not much.
There's going to be sad stories.
She might be among them.
She might be among them. I don't know how it's all going to plan out. I would love to see, like, she came at 7 months old. It's not her fault she was here illegally, you know?
Her mum is with her, by the way, and is also still undocumented.
Her mom should go home at least, at the very least.
Others had less empathy.
Send her home. I mean, let her figure out how to get legal. We just got to get control over the border and know who's coming in here.
Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Was one of the reasons because of immigration?
Yes. My family did it the right way. So why not go down the path of actually becoming official?
Mi nombre es Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. My name is
AOC, as she's known, is leading the charge, urging Joe Biden to give temporary protected status to 300,000 undocumented Ecuadorians, many of whom live in her district in New York.
We agree. Being undocumented is a problem. But our solution, instead of turning the military on our own people, is to document them. To document the undocumented.
Not so simple. The Immigration Office told us it has nearly 7.8 million immigration cases currently on its books, while other estimates put the total number of undocumented migrants at over 13 million people, a number that's risen sharply under President Biden. And officials told us there are more than 600,000 migrants with either criminal convictions or pending criminal.
This is actually what happens when you F around and you later come to find out. It's very sad that Latinos, most of them are actually finding out that they actually voted against their personal interest, they voted against their families being together, because as you've seen on this video, they don't care about separating people, families. They've even gone ahead and said, if you're a mom or if you're parents and you gave birth to a child in the United States of America, because you have a right to get citizenship through naturalization, so you can decide to leave your child in the States and go back to your country. But if you don't want to leave your child behind, then you have to go with your child. There are no excuses of you having to live in the country as long as you got in that country illegally. So there is this girl that we've seen. She got in the United States of America at 7 months old. So you can imagine she's very scared to be deported, to go to a country that she's never been before. She doesn't even understand or know the culture, because all she's known all her life is the United States of America. That's where she was raised. Yes, she was not born there, but she went there at 7 months old. So growing up, she's not known any other place as her country home but the United States of America. And you've seen people who are being asked, especially the Republicans, most of them, they don't even feel sorry for them because they just don't care. You saw so many videos of, there was a black guy who was complaining, I voted MAGA, I supported Republicans, but they came and told me all they wanted was my vote. And I think this is what most people wanted. And actually it's sad that most people voted against they voted for policies that they didn't even get to understand. What does this even tell us? It shows us how ignorant people can be, because we are living in a world where you have internet, like you can learn everything on internet. You don't have to worry so much about not understanding. There's Google, like you can Google everything, any policies that the government officials come with. Even if you don't understand English and you are a Latino, you can Google that and get it in your language. So what does this tell us? People are very ignorant and they will just say things, or they just vote for policies that they don't understand because you had someone else supporting those policies, and you're like, if they're for supporting those policies, then it's fine. Or Latinos, was it because most of your men couldn't stand having a woman in power? Because the percentage of Latino men that actually voted red, it left me with so many question marks, because looking at the policies, in as much as people were saying there was no better candidate to choose from, and one thing I get to understand is there is no political leader that will always be 100% good. Like, they will not have all the best policies, they will not have all the best character, but at least you have an option to choose, because there is no way I'm ever gonna vote against my rights, against the rights of women, against the rights of my families, and there is no way I could have voted to get me separated from my family, to get my mom deported back to my country when she worked so hard to get me in this country, crossing all those borders and living in this country illegally, having to work jobs that don't pay them that well so that you can survive. But most don't care. They just went on ahead and voted against some of their family members. They voted for their family members to be deported. And you've seen that clip of this lady. She don't care if her nephews, if her nieces, or any other person get deported. She says it's okay, they can get deported. I don't care, as long as they can get deported and try to come back to the country legally. I mean, you're also an immigrant and you're wishing this on people that are even this close to you. What does this even tell us about you? I don't know what you guys think, but listening to her, it was quite sad. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Give this video a like and turn on your notification bell so that every time that we'll be bringing you updates, you always be notified. And till the next episode, bye.